Is the Somali military ready for this pullout?
Absolutely not. I think realistically, Somalia is nowhere near taking responsibility for its own security. And that is why I think this phased withdrawal by AMISOM, I think, will come as a shock, not only to Somalia, but I think people in the region as well.
Which particular areas of the country are most at risk?
The whole country is actually in peril because Al Shabaab, despite the fact that they have been dislodged from many of the urban centers, are still very active in the countryside. They continue to attack AMISOM positions and Somali National Army positions and threaten their supply lines. And I suspect that if you begin to draw down, they will basically capitalize on that and move in very swiftly to take over the town. I think you're not going to see a rapid, Al Shabaab advance, but I think this drawdown, unless I think it is done in a more structured manner and with a lot of, I think, care, risks actually handing over the country back to Al Shabaab.
What would you like to see in Somalia then before a drawdown happens?
You have to, I think, invest a lot in really building up the Somali National Army. Currently, there are multiple trainings going on bilaterally, but also multilaterally. But I think the assessment is that this will require probably not less than 5 to 10 years to actually build up the Somali National Army to a capacity where they will be able to take over responsibility for the country. I think the Somali National Army at the moment is in disarray. It is fragmented. There are a lot of clan tensions. It is thoroughly corrupt. And all these, I think, when AMISOM says they want to hand over the security responsibility to the Somali National Army, you are basically talking of AMISOM handing over security to an entity that is not capable of really defending or securing the country from Al-Shabaab.
This is not a good thing then. Why is AMISOM doing it?
AMISOM is doing it primarily because its relations with the EU and donors is bad. They have for a long time been complaining that they are holding the fort in Somalia. They are fighting the war without resources. This is a war that is not very suited to, a conventional military. They have asked for specialized combat kits, and hardware like helicopters. This has not been provided. They have also recently been, in a very bitter row with the European Union over funding cuts of about 20%. And so I think this is a signal, probably a warning to the international community that we can actually leave this place and let it burn unless, we get what we want. So this could be, I think, an indication, primarily also to put pressure on the Somali actors to tell them, look, you have to get your act together. We are not going to be here forever. So I think this is a message that is basically to intend for two constituencies. One, the international donors, but also secondly, to their Somali hosts.
Are there particular areas of Somalia that national contingents won't leave? I'm thinking here of places like Jubaland and the Kenyan troops, and also in other areas the Ethiopian troops who for a long time weren't officially part of AMISOM.
The assumption is that an AMISOM pullout would probably create a situation where there wouldn't be foreign troops in Somalia. I think that is not going to happen. Even if AMISOM were to pull out, you will still have troops from neighboring countries, especially Ethiopia and Kenya, who will not be part of AMISOM, but who will be active and present in South Central Somalia. There are also many international armies as well, the Brits, the Americans, the Emiratis, the Turks. There are a growing number of armies now involved in Somalia. So even if AMISOM were to pull out, I think that would not mean the end of foreign military presence in Somalia.